back again. Sturdoween is in full effect, that you guys can see, full effect, and this is what's going down tonight. This is what's going down tonight. Kicking off Freddy franchise versus Jason franchise, part one, the OGs. So yes, we're starting off reviewing, discussing the first films of each of these, all that other fun stuff, and feels good to be back. Feels good to be back reviewing some movies again. It's been a little bit, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm happy. So yeah, let's get this show on the road, guys. How are you guys doing, by the way? How are you guys doing?
I'm good, bro.
Fantastic. I couldn't be any better right now.
Sounds a little sarcastic, but I'll take it.
No, I'm not at all. We got to watch Friday the 13th, and I got to say, I did like some of those fan films that we watched, but after watching what we watched today, like, there's definitely a quality difference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and which we'll get into the films, but let's dive back into that though. Watching those fan films, I agree with what you just said, but there was some really good fan films of those. And speaking of which, on Friday the 13th, it's either 10 or 10:30 Eastern time. Actually, no, I'm not promoting that. Never mind. More importantly, Friday the 13th at 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Yep.
Casters for a Cause, guys. Casters for a Cause. And what's cool about that is, guess what? Another script read. I promise you guys it is not Blood Lake. I promise you it's not Blood Lake. It is the original Friday the 13th. And we're doing it on Friday the 13th at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And I cannot wait. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to grab a graphic. Chris.
Yo.
Do you want to announce what you're going to do? We don't have the dollar amount yet. We're talking about it behind the scenes. But do you want to announce what you're going to do or what you're planning?
So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been 5 very, very long, sexy years of this gorgeous Fabio Main of mine. And I've begun to realize that it probably better serve the ones that we are trying to help if we hit our donation goal for Casters for a Cause. I will cut my hair live. Now, check this out. What I think I'm going to end up doing is, based on the percentage of what our goal was, if we beat the last year's goal, the last Casters for a Cause's goal, what you guys had or what you guys got last time, I'm going to cut all my hair off. But if we don't beat it, depending on how close we get to it, I may cut portions of my hair off. And I'm going to have to leave it like that for a little bit. I'm going to say 2 weeks so that you can come check on me and make sure that for 2 weeks, my hair's still uneven and all fucked up. You can come to my lives. You can come to my channel. You can get down on the game streams. You can get down on the Midnight Matinee. But for the good cause, to help people. And here's the other kicker. I kind of want us to surpass that goal for one other reason. Yes, it's going to be cool to get patchy. Yes, it's going to be cool to have, unevenness and weird awkwardness with me going out in public. And yes, I'm real. I'm not an AI bot. I will say this. If we do beat that goal and I cut it all off at once, I'm going to be donating it to one of those organizations that use hair to help people who need their hair, essentially, who have lost their hair. They make wigs and hair pieces for people, whether they're dealing with cancer or what other situations. Now, that's something that's been near and dear to my heart. I've done it once other time before, actually, now that I think about it, almost 10 years ago. So we're bringing it back around full circle. Ladies and gentlemen, help us spread the word. When you see us put up our posts, when you see those chats come through, get down, share them. All the TikToks, all the YouTube shorts, wherever you see our faces, share, get the word out. I am going to cut my hair as long as we do the right thing and help the people out and get some lunches for some people.
Which I am going to pull that graphic up and say.
My apologies.
Sure.
You okay over there, buddy?
I'm good.
Okay, just making sure.
Oh man!
I am dropping the link right now. I'm going to save it to pin it to the top. Oh. This is the GoFundMe. It's live now, people. So if you can donate. And we're going to discuss a goal behind the scenes. And whatever that goal is, if we reach that goal, you heard what Worst Damn Gamer just said. The hair is coming off on the live. So Friday the 13th, let's reach that goal. Let's reach that goal. We'll tell you what it is. I know you guys are saying, what is it? We'll tell you what it is. I'll say on my next live on Thursday. You'll know by then. Unless Mick announces it sooner, my Thursday's next live, announcing it.
This is hard, man. This is a hard announcement to make, but I guess I'm going to do the same thing. I've been coping with it.
That was a good fucking segue, by the way.
This morning when Chris mentioned it, I've been struggling with it, and I'm like, I mean, I've been working on this for 6 years. This little growth here, and I guess I'm just going to let it go.
That's very. That's very.
I don't want my boy Chris to be alone in it.
It's all good.
That's good.
And not for nothing, this is starting out light, because if we hit our goal and we surpass it and we blow it out of the water for the next Cast of the Cause, I have a great idea. And this one, I'm pretty sure might draw a little more donation, and it's a payoff for you because it might hurt. Let me leave it at that. It might hurt a little bit. Now, mind you, this is all me. This is all gamer only. But I got you.
You know what's funny?
I got you.
You know what's funny is I have an idea, and I'm not going to say it on the live, but for our casters. But I think I'll say at least us main four. Actually, no, I'll say us main five right here. I'm throwing you under the bus, Master Shake.
Good.
And that's all I'm going to say. But I'll talk about it behind the scenes with you guys. But it's here. It's here.
I'm not doing shit except for reading. I'm not shaving anything. I'm not cutting anything. I did it. We've done 4 of these in the past. I organize them. Sturdy, thankfully, it came in and is helping me organize this one, or I would go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, and Chris has been a huge help as well. Jason,
I haven't done shit.
It's been supportive. I started that as a joke, and then it became literally like,
oh shit.
Let's just tell the truth.
Yeah, no, Jason didn't do anything. I mean, volunteered to be there, but I can't.
That helps.
No credit. I don't deserve any credit.
No, moral support.
Did you say oral support, Mick?
Moral support.
God damn.
Wow.
Moral
Mick and I are
wow.
celebrating 3 years of friendship today.
Who? Oh, me?
Oh,
You
yeah.
mean it? 3, really?
Look
It
at this.
seems like so little.
Facebook
Seems like
official.
Seems like a lifetime.
It seems like we've been friends a lot longer than that.
Well, we've had a lot of, stuff. We've gone through
Yeah,
together.
that's true.
It's funny. We're going. Me and Sturdy are going on 2.5 at this point. 2 years.
Something like that. I
You ain't
forgot.
on our level.
Yeah.
Close enough, bro. Close enough.
Yeah, but have you guys seen each other in person? I don't care that we live a hell of a lot closer. That's not an excuse.
All right,
You had that extra half a year or a year to figure that out.
so by Sturdy's take on this, then Dan is my best friend.
Maybe.
Love you, Dan. He came too. Carolina Fear Fest. You guys are there next year to visit me. No, I love it though. I'm busting balls. I love Jason.
Oh, of course. We got to do this. We got to do it. But people,
in a versus episode.
Huh?
We're doing it on a versus episode, nonetheless.
We got to keep the
Yeah.
competitive spirit alive.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
I agree. So this is your show. What do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? I'm super stoned right now.
Did he just fall out of his chair?
No. His camera fell back.
Oh, I thought he fell and knocked his camera over.
This is my favorite because this is. Oh my God! Keep it at that angle and just scare me for the rest of the time.
There you go.
That works. It
It
really
does.
works. You need to do like a short video series on your YouTube
Like
where
that.
you just read
Oh my God.
like short scary stories.
Holy shit.
God, dude, this is
Holy
crazy. This is
shit.
not good for me. And he backs up and disappears. I don't
Yep.
like it. It's like I'm being watched.
You asked for it. You did ask
what I was asking for.
Oh, shit.
He can't help himself. That's what.
I don't know who that is, but if you know me, you know there is no excuse for me.
He just does it.
It just doesn't. That's it.
He just does it.
As I say, I and the universe unfold as it should.
So, quick roundtable question before we dive into these reviews.
My table's square and long.
That's what she said.
Ah!
So she has the long table, or she's saying his table's long.
Don't judge me in what I like.
Hey, I'm just asking what she said. What she, Anyway,
that's the difference between me and everyone else. I don't give a fuck what you say I do. I'll just say I do it. Everybody else is like, nah, I'm a man. Don't fuck with that. Me? I'm like, yeah, I'll take one in the ass if that's what you want to tell people.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta, even though you've probably done it before, you gotta hit that link up top. And now it's some crazy shit.
Nick!
Now he's dancing.
Oh shit!
Oh, Video Clerks podcast.
I blushed.
I love those guys.
He made me blush. What up, Video Clerks?
Wow.
What's up, Video Clerks?
Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, these guys got a dope show. Had him on a couple times. Got to get you guys on again. As a matter of fact, I'd love to get you guys on sometime this month. We're reviewing. Oh, they're fucking awesome. We're reviewing. Right now, we're going to be discussing Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street, and then Thursday Part 2, and so on and so forth. And yeah, so if you guys are free to join in Tuesday, Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, watch the movies, dive in.
I will try for Thursday.
But yeah, those guys are dope. Go check them out, Video Store Clerks.
Very cool.
All right, so question for everybody right here on the video lives and everybody in the comments. Who do you like better, Freddy or Jason? No reason why, just Freddy or Jason. And I'll start. Jason. Jason, what about you?
Freddy.
Mick?
Freddy. But there's an amendment to that. Are we? We're not saying movies. We're saying character, right?
Characters.
Okay. All right.
Juan? Yeah.
All right, what I miss here?
I'd like to be on for that one, by the way. I love the third one.
Yeah, the third one. Yes, the third one will fall on the next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the third conversation is going to be fun, though. The third conversation is going to be fun. I can't wait for that. I can't.
I'm sorry. I missed the question.
I'm outnumbered by a motherfucker.
Freddy guys for the win. FTW, baby. Claws for days.
Okay.
Because he has more personality.
And he's a true slasher. Come on. He has fucking a whole hand of slashing power.
And I like stand-up comedy. And Freddy is borderline a stand-up comedian.
This is true.
I will argue that Freddy is not a slasher. Freddy is a supernatural dynamic force
who slashes people in their dreams.
You're absolutely right. Okay, so if a possessed woman in another possession horror movie cuts people with a knife, is she a slasher? Or
technically,
or is a demon in another movie maybe stab somebody? Is he a slasher? So like that's why like I tend to yes. Is he going to be in the pantheon of slashers? Absolutely. And I'm not trying to argue that overall point, but I do argue the fact that the reason I think I like Freddy so much is because he's so much more than your basic slasher.
Yeah, he actually has a personality.
Understandable.
How many slashers have you seen with that type of personality in movies?
Very few, ever. None.
And that movie's almost 40 years old.
Yeah.
You know, so like I would argue Leslie Vernon.
I would say, you know what though? I would say the closest to it, to an extent, as far as slashers go, would be Art the Clown, and just because the body movements and the gestures that he makes during his kills and all that, he's quiet. He doesn't talk obviously because it's like a mind thing. But I guess that would be the closest to it, but it's still not the same.
Dude, Sturdy, you and I, man, we've been doing shows long because I thought the same thing. I was like, Art the Clown is probably the closest because even though he doesn't really talk.
And he's also the closest to like, which this will be a fun conversation for another episode, but he's also fun with Art the Clown. What I enjoy about him too is you get that old school feel from it.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah.
You get that old school feel from it, and that's something like for slashers like that, like a Jason, a Michael, a Freddy, Art, and all that. I feel like you almost want that kind of 80s, maybe 90s feel, 80s, 90s feel. Oh, 78 because of Michael. So between the 70s and the 90s kind of feel, but that real dark, gritty feel. Because if it's too clean, too pretty, it doesn't feel like a slasher to me.
I would love to see somebody write a slasher film with a personality. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. I thought you were done.
No, I was gonna say I take that away. It's just the clean, pretty ones. I don't say they don't feel like a slasher, but they just. I don't know. They're more lighthearted in a sense. As crazy as that sounds for a slasher movie, but the ones that are too clean and too pretty, they're more lighthearted than like the dark, gritty, grungy ones. And I know it's just because that's the equipment that was out then, but it just feels creepier. I know, and I don't know, it just feels better. It feels better.
I would even argue personally, when it comes to somebody like Freddy, or like even when you're saying like who's like that, I would love to see a challenge of a slasher film where the killer is almost like, honestly, I'll just say it, Jason Momoa in the latest Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
That dude as a slasher in a slasher film, just kind of toying. Like they say cat and mouse whenever you see slasher films, but the only time you really see something that's horrifying is when with Freddy, he's truly fucking with them. Everybody else is trying to murder you and stay out of sight. He's fucking with you. And then like if you can take somebody like a character like Jason Momoa played in that, who is a true psychopath, and show him a minimal amount, we never know where he is, but when he does pop up, it's like, he's going to be funny. He's going to be trying to be charming, but in the most grotesque, disgusting way. Not unlike the Devil's Rejects.
I like that.
And I wouldn't classify them as slasher either.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That is a tough one. But it's crazy because the only other one that comes to my mind is Ghostface, and it's kind of ironic that it's also a Wes Craven creation as well.
Yeah, well, we talked
calls in the games. You know what I mean?
We talked about that on the other on I think Nick and Knight like a few weeks ago. I think it was you, me, and Dan when we were talking about how Wes Craven was all about the realism side of it, and even when he based his stories off true stories, like it was the idea of the realism. So like the movie that's based on, Scream, is based on the Gainesville murders.
Okay.
It was like sorority. I think it was sorority row, like where all the sorority houses where girls were getting killed.
Oh wow! And
they caught the wrong guy, and then like it continued to keep happening. So that's where the Cotton Weary aspect comes into it and stuff like that. So like he loved that realism side of it. So when you go back to A Nightmare on Elm Street, he based Freddy Krueger off the old hobo, he called it, in his town, who was terrorizing him. And he based it off of that Cambodian refugee story where they were dying in their sleep, or trying to stay up, but as soon as they fell asleep, they would die in a horrific way.
Yep.
Like it's that realism that I think added the element of the personality to his killers.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That's
interesting.
Now, who's my favorite character out of Mrs. Voorhees and Freddy? Still Freddy, but I love Mrs. Voorhees.
Still Freddy, but I love Mrs. Voorhees. Which I want to say this really quick. People out there, start watching Friday the 13th, just the original one, on Mother's Day. It's about a mother's love at the end of the day. That movie's about a mother's love, which is beautiful. And it shows what a mother would do if you mess with her child. She's just going to keep killing and killing and killing at that camp for years down the road. And then you're going to come back and take over. So,
does Cocaine Bear count for that then?
Definitely.
So Cocaine Bear is a Mother's Day film now.
Yeah, hell yeah. A mother's love, and it's not just the human mom. You're seeing the bear mom.
I was talking about the bear. I forgot about the human mom. I was talking only about the bear mom.
I love it. Yes. So listen, people. Here's what you guys need to start doing on Mother's Day. Take your mother out to eat or whatever. And this is for children to mothers. So you take your mom out to eat, do the dinner thing or whatever.
Do
Hey, Mom, I want to
cocaine.
watch a movie with you, and you watch Cocaine Bear and Friday the 13th Part 1.
He said, "Do cocaine."
You and your kids do cocaine. You go on a murder spree, and that's your Mother's Day. It's gonna be wonderful.
Ma, I got a day planned for us. Okay, we're starting at 6 a.m. We're doing some prep work.
What do you do though if your mother's like, I was waiting for this? Like, whoa, Ma, I was joking. Do you do it? Like, do you just go through with the day?
Dude.
Yeah, I'll laugh if she's like, "Oh my God, have you ever seen the movie The Purge? It's my favorite."
Shit. Oh shit. Or Cocaine Bear.
Have you seen that movie The Strangers? Let's do that.
Oh my God.
Like, all right, Mouse, you're taking this too far.
All right, I'm done, Ma. Day over. Happy Mother's Day. Here's some roses.
Yeah, I don't know about all this. This is a lot. There's a lot of cocaine, and she's sitting there like Tony Montana. Ain't a lot.
Just chilling. All right, put the movie on, Mick. Put the movie on.
Okay, Mom, I'm sorry.
I got a question for you guys. Why do you think Pamela Voorhees never came back?
She got her head chopped off.
Yeah, I mean,
she was dead.
We saw a bone on that one.
Toothpicks.
I think something along the lines of the connection of the evil and the love that she had for her son. Once he died, brewed the full like gateway and like opened the door completely for, which we'll talk about later, the entity to come through.
Yeah,
well, that's the funny part. Jason in the first 4 movies is not an entity. He's a person. He's a human. In the first 4 movies he's in. Okay. These fucking movies, man, these horror movie franchises are going all over the place. Not in the first movie he appears, but in the next 4, he's a human entity. They established that in the second one. The first one, he's a dream, which is bonkers.
Hey, it works though. For whatever reason, it works. And that's something else I love about this movie is something so simple. It's like it's a dream. Okay, I'm fine with that. You don't complain about it. We watch the next ones, and with both of these franchises, excuse me again. With both of these franchises, which I know we'll discuss more and more as we get through them, but like they just jump all over the freaking place. To damn near where they jump all over the place. Like yes, they have the same background story for the most part, but it's like they can almost damn near be standalone films. Like, here's a movie, here's a movie, here's a movie. In a sense.
I think what kind of played into this one is I didn't think they were going to do as good as they thought they did. And I think this one was supposed to kind of be intended as like a one-off. And then it's like, oh, they're going to give us more money. Let's go after that character there and bring him and make him the antagonist. I could be completely wrong.
Well, Sean Cunningham was told to make Halloween.
Yeah, he was basically, that was like his goal. Well, not his goal, but he was told. Like, that was like, Jason's 100% right. And then he went with Friday the 13th because, like, what are you going to do? Have Killer Jesus on Easter? Like, I mean, you know what I love?
I'd watch Killer Jesus on Easter.
That's fair.
And that's the whole movie title, Killer Jesus on Easter. And then you have an Easter movie to watch with your mother right after church or right before.
There is a movie called Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
Okay.
It's not on Easter though, Jason.
And guess who's going to try and make me watch it with Titanic 2 as a double feature? This guy. I will say this. One thing that I really love and I feel is underappreciated about the Friday the 13th series is, and I can talk about like this with Nightmare on Elm Street, but I feel like it gets these accolades. Nightmare on Elm Street is smart. Friday the 13th is a smart right. There are things in that like subtly you don't fully like realize like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, I don't want to tell you exactly what I'm saying right now because I have an example of mine, but I think it's going to line up when you ask me what my favorite kill is.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say it. I'll save it for then. But I would like to pose a question to you guys and your audience, if that's cool. So nobody answer until the audience starts trying to answer. What movies does it not rain in the Friday the 13th entire franchise, even the remake? Which movies does it not rain, and can you name the movies? So please.
I know one for sure.
Yeah.
I'm saying I can think of. Now I can think of 2 of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 5, and Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason, you are wrong.
Jason Goes to Hell is definitely one of them.
Where it doesn't rain?
I'm not saying. I'm sorry. Never mind. Ixnay. I still have the 2 in my head that I was thinking. I don't know why I agreed with him. He's wrong.
How about you, Sturd?
I'm thinking still.
I got 2 out of them.
I'll reveal the answer as we go. Or I'll just be high by the end and not reveal the answer and then screwed. You have somebody to remind me by the end. This is at 9 o'clock, Jason's like, I gotta go. Tell me now.
And you said this is gonna play into. You said this is gonna play into part of your what's your favorite kill?
Oh no, I can't. I want to talk about an example of the movie and why Friday the 13th has so many layers to it that people don't realize.
Gotcha.
But it involves my favorite kill.
Got you.
So I don't want to reveal it yet, if that makes sense. So I'll talk about it later.
Gotcha.
What did you say? You said part 5 and part 9.
Yeah.
Chris, what did you say? Part what and what?
I was gonna say Jason X and part 1 because I didn't see any rain in this one. Those are the only 2 that I can recall. I know Jason Goes to Manhattan and on the boat. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that it was raining. Jason Goes to Hell. I remember seeing it was raining. The one with the lightning rod that face comes back. It was raining in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember 2 and 3 right now or 4, but I think those are that's my answers right there. The part 1 and Jason X.
Yep. Jason X is the only right answer.
Wow. It rained in this movie?
It rains in every single Friday the 13th movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Except for Jason X, because they're in space.
Right.
So, and the only time they do the Earth, like when they do the simulation, it's not raining. It's like a nice night.
Sure. Wow.
So, yep.
Wow. That's a good one.
Now, I got another one for you if you want it.
Go for it.
All right.
I'll answer correctly. I should
say. Describe what Freddy's sweater looks like in the first movie.
Wait, say that.
Describe to me what Freddy's sweater looks like in the first one, or more. I'll even change it up a little bit. Freddy's sweater is different in the first one than any other movie. How is it different?
I can't answer that. I don't know the franchise that well.
You just watched it, right?
Yeah.
I only watched the first one. I didn't watch the rest of them.
It's red and green. It's not red and green.
Red and green?
The sleeves are all red. Video store clerks got it.
That's what it was. Yeah, I remember there was something different. Yep.
It's all red. And actually, if you show your title card, that's why I picked one from the first movie, because it is different than every other one. See? Sleeves are all red, but in every movie, it's the green stripes go across all the way.
That's right.
And it's kind of tighter. It was a little baggier in this one.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. He can't be a slasher in his fucking sweater, in his dad's sweater.
Hey man, that's what he died in.
I'm glad that he, has a change of outfits between deaths.
I mean, it's also kind of fucked up to put him in the Christmas colors too, because most people tone joy and rebirth, or the gift of life and giving with Christmas, and then you throw Freddy in here, who's the person who takes life and fucks with you, even though he's resurrected type deal through spirituality. It's yeah.
It's also great that, and everybody argues this now because they retconned it, so that way you can like him without feeling bad for liking him. But Freddy was a pedophile, and a child murderer, and we don't, we gloss over that. And the fact that he wrote that in as that is saying like he was going for true horror. It's a horrific thing. We hate this guy. He's supposed to be a villain. And it's just so crazy to me that 80s turned horror into this. I wouldn't even, the 80s really kind of overhyped it. I would say the Universal Monsters probably did this first, but just turned horror into this thing where it's almost like a campaign. Like, you got to love it. You got to love your horror figures. And I do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But at the same time, like, There's nothing more vile than that.
Mm-hmm.
And we dress up like this dude. So keep that in mind, people, when you dress up as Freddy for Halloween next year.
I mean, at the same time, it's not a real, like, he's not real.
Okay.
And on top of that, we have a weird obsession with serial killers and like crazy shit that people do. Pedophiles are the worst though, because you don't hear people like cheering about them or rooting them on or whatever other crazy shit people do with the serial killers.
Yep.
No.
Like this goes to show, especially with our modern day times with social media and content that gets put out. As much as we say we want positive things and we want good things, look at how much we're attracted to the ratchet. Look at how much we're attracted to the horrible, the vile, or the violent. And we stay watching things like that, even on the internet, whether it's a newscast or we were watching things back in the day on like E-Bombs World or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of weird how we're always like, spread the love, spread the cheer. Whoa. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the argument for that though. I think we're like that now. Because for so long we went crazy, and I think a lot of people are finally like, and a lot of the world went so far in that direction where it's like, let's storm the Capitol or some shit.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people on the other side are like, yo, we need to calm this down. Like, we need to stop. Like, let's be about peace and love. Like, I know for me, like that's how I fight it personally.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get into the gore porn stuff, because I feel like it over glorifies, and like the stuff that happens in real life is enough. We don't need to be feeding that where people are so in tune to that, and they literally not only are attracted to it, but they're also like almost turned on by it type deal. Yeah. And I'm not saying that everybody acts out on these, people have impulse control, but at the same time, not everybody can do that. And some people see this and they idolize some of these people. And you know what I mean? Like, we dress up for them as Halloween, we portray them and we take on their tones and we pretend to do the same acts that they would. So it's kind of like, fuck, man, that's kind of the dark side of human nature. And I think that's why we all kind of go towards that at times too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It makes sense. And then like for me personally, like with the horror, like the real life shit, I don't want to see that shit. But the movie versions of it, it's cool, it's dope, and it just puts you, I look at it as more of an art than like this disgusting, terrible act of violence. I'm like, this is just a dope art, especially just being able to talk to special effects artists nowadays and being able to see behind the scenes stuff, and kind of, not that I know anything about it when it comes to that, because people do that shit for years. But at the same time, like seeing that on screen and then like seeing how it was made type of deal, you're like, holy like how the fuck did you do that?
To counter that point, I was going to say, but think about Tom Savini, who worked on this movie. Yes. And he was a Vietnam War photographer, and the special effects he got into, and he molded things from things he took pictures of to help his PTSD after the war. Like, working on this and creating these things helped him to overcome it. So that's another thing to posit from it. Like, maybe sometimes the horror genre helps us understand the horror that we don't see, that we don't understand in the real world,
And I mean, shit, that's huge. That's humongous if it helped him with his PTSD, or if it still helps him with his PTSD. That's amazing. It's like, shit. And he's putting it into horror, which it's a horrific thing in real life that he, with that, but just still, it's like being able to put that into some amazing art, because what he does is just, I mean, look what he does. Look what he does. And you're just like, holy.
And that's a testament again to the special effects on this movie, because even to this day, this is probably one of the best prime examples of what true practical effects are that work and look this good. I mean, we've seen now the digital version of Freddy coming through the wall, but nothing surpasses that latex above the bed when they push through and you get the pointedness of his nose and the silhouette and the darkness with what they did with the lighting. That scene is fucking gold. It should be just for lighting guys, special effect guys, needs to be like, to me, the reference, the pinnacle of like, here's what you're aiming for, even with your digital effects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Hell yeah. And I just, to add on to that, we have the conversations of, how technology, the good and the bad of technology. I feel like that's kind of not 100%, but that is kind of the bad of technology. Is like, we're not seeing a lot of practical effects as much. I know people still do it, don't get me wrong, but you're seeing a shit ton more CGI, and it does take away. It takes away so much, especially when it's so noticeable. It's like, oh my gosh, man! Like, I just wish this looked. CGI don't bother me when it's like Marvel and all that kind of shit, but in my horror,
because our horror for us isn't that. You know, it's not clean, it's not beautiful and smooth, and CGI. It's hard to make it rugged. It's hard, like when you go back and you look at something like The Thing. You know, it's imperfections everywhere, and it's so real and so built out. But then you go over to like Alien and the Xenomorph, and it's so clean and pristine and beautiful, but there's imperfection. It's different. It's weird. You can accept that type because, again, it's practical. It's real. It's tangible. You can touch it. But then you get the CGI, and you see these actors freaking out and screaming, and there's nothing there. There's a tennis ball. It's like we see it. Everything's too smooth. Everything's too nice. Like that's not what horror is meant to be.
Not at all.
Your action, yes, but not your horror.
Yeah, exactly. Because you want, with the action, all that stuff, you want the big explosions and all this other crazy stuff going on that works for that. But for the horror, you're like, no, we don't need all that. Even with the buckets of blood and all that, just give us buckets of blood and we'll throw it through however they do it. But I don't want the CGI version of it. But
take it from another angle. Let's say stunt coordination, fighting, right? So a fight coordinator steps on. You watch Jean-Claude Van Damme fight in one of his movies. This one's for you, Jason. But you watch Jean-Claude Van Damme fight in one of his movies. Everything looks perfect. It's perfectly timed. The kick is perfect. The jump in the air. His sweat is glistening. His bulging biceps. Like everything is perfectly in frame. It's beautiful. It's smooth. It's weird. You're looking at his junk. You're looking at his hair. Back to his junk. No, I'm kidding, of course. But everything is supposed to be that in that movie. Even when it's gritty and you have things blowing up in your face, there's still I'm not there because it's still clean. It's still, like it's like I'm not in this. I can step out and just appreciate. Horror, you want to be in it. You want to feel it. You want everybody watches it to feel scared. And when it's that smooth print, like imagine a fight like John Wick style.
I was just going to say, yep.
It's weird. You shouldn't do that. No,
it would take away. It would take away from horror. Then you're just like it's
Halloween, right?
When Buster Rhymes beats up Michael Myers, that was on the level of John Wick.
Okay, are you of Jean-Claude Van Damme? Come on, I don't care if you're a hip hop fan. Don't do that. Don't tell me that. That was
a joke.
Fight choreography ever.
Because doesn't he use like kung fu moves? I haven't seen that one in forever.
Sonny Chiba. Chiba movies, and I love Sonny Chiba, so I get it. But he watches Sonny Chiba movies, and he just wants to get into it. He wants to get into the action, which are not kung fu movies, by the way, because he studied karate.
And to add on to Mick's point about how things don't need to always be clean and perfect, and just to me, I'd rather see that because there are other things that as a filmmaker you can do to help carry the scene, the emotion, the intensity with audio curation, with visual cues, and all these other things that you can implement to it to help me stay attached, stay in it instead of becoming detached because there's imperfections in it. So because sounds for jump scares or things coming from the background, or there's all of these little things you can do, or the squishes of the goriness with the sound effects. Like if you hear of something or a bone crunch or something, doesn't matter what the image is. If that's a dirty image, if it's not exactly perfectly framed, you're still there because of now these other sensory things that you're experiencing as well.
And one thing I love about horror, and especially to bring it back to Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street specifically, is when you absolutely adore a horror film like a Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th, you wonder, like, and you hear a lot, people are like, oh man, it was just like this little movie that just hit the audiences at the right time. And it's like, no, it wasn't. There is genius behind these movies that people don't see from a filmmaking standpoint, that still to this day, your subconscious while you're watching it, notice these things and it made you feel. And that's why collectively we can agree, like on certain movies, they're at the top of the chain, or the top of the heap rather. And when you're watching them and stuff like that, and you're feeling it, you may not notice certain things. Like, okay, let's take Friday. We could do Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Nobody was ever afraid of camp before that. Nobody ever feared going camping other than Deliverance style. Like, nobody ever feared a killer is going to be in the woods and they're going to hunt me down. Not, it was always animals that were more the thing that you're afraid of when you're in the woods. And then no kid who was going to summer camp felt fear. And now they did. All of a sudden, it changed the game. Like, what?
You were worried about bears and werewolves, or lions or a tiger coming down or some shit.
And think about every movie we had Psycho, which had a human who was crazy in 1960 killing people. Then you get up and you get crazier. You have the
Shining.
You have Black Christmas. You have The Shining. You have in your face humans, whether it be in touch with supernatural or they're just crazy, are killing people. So where can you go? How can you get safe? Well, I can run away from it. I can run away from it. It's no problem. You can't run away from sleeping. So to tell me this wasn't another monumental story idea for its time, ahead of its time, you're crazy. There's genius behind all of this stuff.
20 years of fear it imposed in me. That's for goddamn sure. For sure. You can't run from it. And that's why I give kudos to the remake, and we'll talk about that in a later date, but I give kudos for the remake for certain reasons, because I think they elaborated on that and made that even scarier of a notion about the sleep thing with the one with Jackie O'Haley. That's all I'm gonna say about it now.
I was just watching Bad News Bears the other day. He's in that too.
Yeah, he is.
I love that movie. It's such a weird movie. You have Vic Morrow just slapping that kid in the face in the screen, and you're like, I mean, I know it exists, but do we have to put it in the movies? But yeah, I definitely agree. And fucking Dan, of all people, is like made me soften on the remake. It's still terrible, but from a filmmaking standpoint, it looks good. Jackie O'Haley was very good. I think my biggest thing story-wise was that you took away the same reasons we said Freddy was such an effective villain in the original. You took those reasons away in the remake and then tried to put it back. Like, it was weird. Like, that was your twist, and it was just an odd, stupid twist. And it was like,
I can't wait till we get to the episode, because I really want you to elaborate on that.
I'm literally gonna say, yeah, I'll be there, and then I'm just gonna sit out.
You better have Dan there for that. But yeah, no, Friday the 13th. I prefer the movie over. I prefer Friday the 13th over Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm with you,
but I like Freddy better.
I'm not with you on that. Like, I mean, it's all the way Friday the 13th. It's all the way Jason. But you know what it is. Honestly, I feel like with whatever one that I started with as a kid and like got to see as much as I got to see Friday the 13th a whole lot, because Friday the 13th. Anytime it was Friday the 13th, I'm in front of the TV all weekend watching it, and then eventually got the DVDs and all that. And with Nightmare on Elm Street, yes, I did see it as a kid, but not even a quarter as much, I would say, honestly.
Okay, so can I interject and ask Jason a question here, Sturdy?
Yeah.
All right. So we got 7 minutes here. Take as much or as little time as you need on this. How the hell are you going to say, I like Freddy better, but you like the... Okay, so let me make sense of this. You like what? The filmmaking aspect of Friday the 13th better than the filmmaking aspect of Nightmare on Elm Street? Because to me, because of the visual effects or whatnot for Nightmare on Elm Street, added with the character of Freddy is what makes this legendary. Because if you don't have both of them together, I feel like it falls short on, you know what I mean?
But we're not talking about Jason with Friday the 13th Part 1. We're talking about Pamela Voorhees. And one of the things, like growing up, like now in 2023, Jason likes Friday the 13th better because there's not a lot of movies where we have that final sequence with a female. Jason's mother. We go through that emotional beat that's not in the rest of the Friday the 13th movies, and it's not on Elm Street. So, hindsight is 2020. But like, if you're asking me now, that's where my preference goes, just because there's not a lot like Friday the 13th right now. Sure, a lot of the setup is the same, but the final payoff is not like a lot of the other horror movies out there.
That's interesting because for me, then I think of, you said there's that element of that emotionalness or whatnot, and to me, Nightmare on Elm Street plays into the whole sins of our father type deal, where the township and they went and did this act or whatnot, so now it's coming back to bite them in the ass, but not even them. Now it's passed down. You know what I mean? They can't even deal with the repercussions of their actions. It is now the children that are doing it. So to me, that's even more of a psychological fuck over, because like we saw in this movie, Nancy's like, "Mother, what do you mean? You got his glove in the basement?"
I like them both, like I do, but I just preference wise, I just lean more towards Friday the 13th because it's so different. The first one.
I think the first Friday the 13th is a wonderful. It's not on the same level as Halloween from a filmmaking standpoint, but I think it's a wonderful horror film, and I'm glad it opened the door for where it is.
Yeah,
because it did. Because Halloween was great, and people were making movies like that. But I'm glad Friday the 13th was made because it was okay to keep going with slashers. Because let's be real, Prom Night came out then, and I love Prom Night. But is it a slasher film? Like, we were going with ski mask wearing people. Like, we get to Friday the 13th and inadvertently turns it into his mother, which is crazy, and then opens the door to sequels to actually create Jason, which creates so many other characters. More slashers are like Jason, and afterwards by extension Freddy too, than they are Michael Myers. We think about it from that. Like, there was an evolution there. And Jason's not that far off from Michael Myers anyway.
Yeah.
I give him credit. Michael Myers, technically Leatherface is probably the granddaddy, but if Michael Myers was the father, he definitely created a lot of really cool sons and daughters.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Yeah. Question for everybody, including the viewers. And for those that are listening, what is your favorite kill in Nightmare on Elm Street?
Mine's cliche. It's the Johnny Depp kill.
I was gonna say it's got to be almost unanimous on this one. They're just that much blood, the special effect, the bed still getting sucked into Mom. It's just forever ingrained in my brain.
I actually have a different one.
I got a different.
That's my second. That's my second one. But Mick,
that is my second too.
I have. If we're on the same page with this one, this is gonna be crazy. What's yours, Mick?
Well, I will tell you this. Mine is. A close runner up to the Johnny Depp scene, which is my number 2, is what's his name getting killed in the jail cell being strangled. Only because that was really cool animation how they did with the bed, coming around his neck, pulling him up. Like, I thought that was really cool. But and again, a testament to the filmmaking in this movie because it's not even the best kill. But creatively, as good as Johnny Depp's was, as soon as he's sucked under, you don't see him anymore. There's no choreography. It's just a flood. And I love it. I think it's amazing and stands out. But Tina.
Yes. Tina
there
Gray.
is,
going up the wall and everything.
Absolutely. It's so awesome how she's choreographing the whole way. Like, they're turning that set.
That room,
and she's being dragged and she's being cut. And then, like, just to have him in the foreground saying, Tina, no, I think that's the best death. And I think it's underrated, man.
You know what? That may be true because it's so good that almost every version of, whether it's a remake or something like that, they pay homage to it and they did it. And then they brought it back in the new Nightmare.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a dope kill. It's a dope kill. And the Johnny Depp one, the blood, that really fucking stands out, which is dope. But just the Tina go, you know what it is? Because it was kind of like you're seeing this happen, like dragged at the wall, dragged on the ceiling. You're seeing all this shit, and then it's like the dude's seeing all that shit and gets blamed for all this crazy.
He already knows.
Shit.
He already knows, and he out.
Like, there's so much tied to that kill.
Yeah.
With this movie, there's so much tied to that first kill. And it's just like, holy shit.
Without that first kill, he's terrorizing these teenagers, but he can't kill them yet. They're not scared enough yet. So to take them out, he has to kill one of their friends.
Yes.
And he is terrorizing her for a long time. And finally, you're right, because the whole build-up to what Video Store Clerks podcast said the same thing. It's the build-up before. And I'm not talking about the whole movie, but like, she is truly terrified. And one thing that movie does that's actually kind of on the same level of filmmaking for my favorite death in Friday the 13th is it takes Tina, and right before they go to bed, he pulls a knife out on Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what'd you say? Like, this is supposed to be his friend, and he just threatened to stab him with his switchblade. And like legit, like, I'm ready to fight you. And to go that route, so showing like, oh, he's ready to kill. He's an aggravated, like just tense,
aggressive
mean guy. Aggressive. Yeah. Well, he's aggressive, but like if he was more aggressive, I think he would have fought more. But just like he seems so like defensive and ready to go, you know what I mean? And when he goes back in and she looks at him and she goes, please stay, come on, please keep me safe from him. And then he pulls her away in a violent fashion, even though he's trying to kiss her. That speaks layers, and that is Wes Craven's psychology degree coming in fulls, or coming in hot, because that's saying to us, like, is he the killer though? Are we imagining Freddy? What's happening? Because like she doesn't, like, she's saying it. So not that we don't see it, but there's always still that doubt of like what's real, what's not real. You know,
I
which is
almost wish they would have played more into that notion right there, where for maybe 3/4 of the movie, we think it was actually Rod who was doing this, kind of like, and I think they did that in the next movie. I think they did what they kind of wanted to do with that situation with Rod, with Jesse in this next movie, and they played into that where you're like, well, and we'll talk about that when we get to part 2.
And that's another thing. That's a great point, and I'm glad you're in the comments. I wish you were on the show, but they did make you think that Tina was the main character right off the bat. You weren't thinking Nancy at all. She was a side character that showed up. She looks like the side character and everything. And Tina looks like the blonde, the beautiful blonde that's going to be the final girl. Nope.
And what I do like what he said about that, how they make you think that Tina was the main character, is you really feel that. And every single time I watch this movie, I feel it, because I don't watch it a lot. So every single time I watch it, I feel that. And I get it. And I know, Jason, you got to run, man. Appreciate you.
All right, Jason. Thanks, man. Sorry.
All right, he's gone now, guys. We can be honest. No.
He's not going to cut his hair for it. I know it.
And I wish he was still on here, because I was like, in about a minute or two, I was going to dive into the Friday the 13th kill, all that. But, you know, I'm still going to hold their thoughts.
If he's here next week, let him do the rundown real quick.
For his favorite kill in Friday the 13th one? Yeah, he's supposed to be here. He's supposed to be here Thursday. So, yeah. Sweet. We'll get Jason's answer on Thursday. So, what would you guys rate Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh,
man,
I can't do that. Like,
what happened?
Wait, rate in just that franchise, in the Friday the 13th franchise, and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise?
Just rate your enjoyment on watching just that film.
Oh, 9.5.
I like it.
And I don't grow tired of that one.
And that's one thing I love about. You said the same thing, Chris. 9.5.
I'm a Freddy head to death. I'm just gonna go 10, because as much as I want to take away from him, bro,
I'm not mad at that.
He's been a part of my life for so long, to overcome him as a fear, to fucking like, and then be able to enjoy these again and again and again and watch them. And just today alone, both of these movies off the rip, the feeling of nostalgia off the first scenes hit me so hard, and I said it out loud, like I couldn't control myself. I literally, when we started Friday the 13th, the first scene and how they did the camera perspective of the first person view, and they did and then the music hits with the synth wave, I was immediate like, oh my God, Sturdy, I am so fucking amped up right now. Like, this is crazy. I can't wait to finish this movie. I literally said it out loud.
And again, I told you guys how much I've seen this movie growing up, watching just the whole franchise. We'll just stick with part 1 for now. And then earlier this year, my wife surprised me with tickets to go to the actual fucking camp. I'm like, that's still like my favorite thing I've done in life, is that, because I'm like, it's my favorite. I'm going to just be honest, guys. It's my favorite franchise of every fucking franchise. It's not just horror. It's everything. Like, it's a real important part of my life. It's something that I think really started my horror fandom as a kid. It didn't get me into horror. I don't remember what movie I seen first, but it started my horror fandom, and it kept me in my horror fandom.
Like, so really kept me in my horror fandom. basically we shouldn't be watching this podcast because you don't know what you're saying. No, I'm kidding.
You hear him? But
busting balls.
No, I get it. I love it. I love it, as you guys know. But no, it just really got me like really locked into this, and I fucking love it. And then just anytime I watch it, like I said, I can watch this movie anytime, and I'm good.
Joining us.
I want to be like you guys. I felt left out. I'm like, oh man, I want to.
Yeah, so A Nightmare on Elm Street for me is a 10 as well, as far as just it just grabs you. Like you're watching it, the story. Oh, another thing, I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but I got to see this in theaters a couple years ago. Me and the wife went to go see it. Little snowstorm going on, but so what? It was, and the dope thing about it was like cheap prices. It was only like $7 or $8. Like everything was like $7, $8, including the pop. It was like, and I'm like, word, yeah, we're going. Funny thing, and it, by the way, if you get to see this film, both of these films I got to see in theaters. I got to see Friday the 13th earlier this year. But if you get to see either one of these films in theaters, fucking do it. Like, I would do it again, to be honest. I would do it again, seeing both of these films in theaters. If they were playing in theaters, say, this weekend, guess what the fuck I'm going to see?
Yep. And I don't care what I'm collecting, bottles and cans. I'm trading up paper clips. I don't give a fuck what I gotta do. I'm getting this ticket and I'm going to the theater. This is one of those movies that is like a bucket list movie for me to watch in theaters. Because honestly, watching it just now earlier today, I was in my headset. Okay. And I've seen this with surround sound. I've never had it with headphones, but watching it today with this perspective, listening to it on a surround sound 5.1 back in the day, it is one of the creepiest experiences you can have with then having the imagery that it has. So if I can go with big bass speakers and be in an actual theater that's dark, and you can take it up one notch higher for me. Theater, hire somebody. Hire 3 or 4 people to play Freddy's to just run up and down the aisles when that shit comes on.
Bad idea.
I'm with it.
Idea.
I'm with it.
Don't do it.
I want to get mad at them running.
Well, one, you can't do that anymore after Aurora and all that stuff. But also because when I went and saw Scream 2 with my buddies in high school, remember back in the old days when there was no stadium seating, you just sat in the front and you were either off to the sides or in the middle.
Yep.
And opening night we were there, we're sitting in the front, I'm in the middle, my buddy of mine's on the right and another buddy's on the left, and we see an usher go into the exit and there's like a light on in there. We're like, it's weird. Why are they doing that? Why wouldn't an usher go back there? He's gonna go in there and exit. And we realized like what they're gonna do. And my buddy's like, I'm gonna put my foot out. I'm like, oh boy. And as soon as that first kill or that second kill came in Scream 2, and the usher comes out running and screaming, and then the Ghostface is chasing him, my buddy's foot was out and he went right down. He looked back, he's like, you son of a. And I'm like, that was horrible. We shouldn't have done that.
Well, I guess that's a good reason not to have that shit going on.
No, but can you imagine though, if right before the movie started, it's pitch black, the screen starts to come on with that new line red, and then all of a sudden you see one person dressed like Freddy dragging his claws against the wall of the theater. All of a sudden,
now that would be dope. And I mean, for that, I know a dope cosplayer who actually plays Freddy and Jason, as well as others. My boy Fly Ty, he'd be perfect for that.
That's dope.
Go follow him on IG.
I wish.
But, as a matter of fact, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to get him on an episode. I'm going to have him cosplay as Freddy on an episode again, because he did it something like a year or two again for me. So
I found a streamer who's on TikTok that does all of his lives as Freddy, and I got to send it to you. I keep forgetting.
Please do. Yep. Please do, because that's dope. So I guess I can ask the other question.
Yeah.
Let's do it to it.
Favorite kill in Friday the 13th. And again, only talking about the original.
I want to go last. Can I go last? No, it's not my show.
My cousin Jazzy. I lived on Elm Street in Schenectady. And yes, and what's funny about her, she scares so fucking easy. And she's actually one of the older cousins I was talking about that got me into horror. Like her, my older brother Zach, her brother Jerome, and then my cousins Jeff and Josh, which were brothers as well. And Jazzy, if you're still here, you can definitely vouch for this. If we're watching it at my mother's house, Aunt Aaron's house, or Aunt Beth's house, the rule was do not wake up Aunt so-and-so, because whatever's gonna happen to us is gonna be scarier than any fucking movie we were watching. Let's just say that. It was like, don't even do it. You don't want to wake up them crazy ass Lewis women late at night watching some shit they know I wasn't supposed to be watching. We're all getting it, even the 5-year-old, the innocent child. See,
That's fair.
which I get it. But what's cool about that though is her daughters watch horror, and they started young because the older one got her into it, and I think that's beautiful. I think that is beautiful. But yeah, I had to announce that. But favorite kill in Friday the 13th, the first movie.
Am I going or going?
Whoever
I know I said last.
I got mine. I wrote it down. It's the axe in the face for me.
The axe in the face.
The axe in the face for me when she fuck, and it just looks like it's stuck there, and she falls back. That whole thing was kind of perfect. It's simple, but it's
they're all kind of simple in this.
Mm-hmm.
For all its imperfections. Kasaya's in love with Chucky. I love that. I freaking love that. I gotta start getting her some Chucky stuff now. Now that I know that, anytime I get her anything for her birthday or Christmas, no more dolls. Fuck all that bullshit. It's gonna be Chucky stuff from here on out. Jazzy, you're welcome.
I love it. Get her a good guy doll.
Get her a good guy. I'm not spending no $500 on anybody. Get us a little one.
They're that much?
Yeah, for the official ones, are like $500. She wouldn't spend $500 on her kid for something like that. I
understand, but it was just funny how you said it. Like,
I'm just being honest.
Anybody.
I love you, just not that much. Like, damn.
like the little toys and stuff.
I'm doing. I got you.
Shirts.
He was already looking at his shelf to see if there was anything Chucky there. I caught that.
That I could just show her. Yeah. I know I have stuff. I have a loose figure. She's not getting that, but I'll get her own.
Dude, it's amazing.
But
next up,
I had one and I can't think of it now. Oh, I was just saying about the imperfections and all that. Jason's mother getting her head cut off, not only because of it sparked an awesome franchise, in my opinion, but learning how like. She gets her head cut off. You see the hairy knuckles. It's the dude. The toothpicks out the neck shit. Like, all those imperfections made me love it more because it's like, as a kid growing up, I honestly never noticed that. And then once I heard about it, I was just like, I never not notice it, but it doesn't bother me at all. I just laugh. I'm like, I fucking love this.
And I'm the opposite. Even though I knew that and you just reminded me, I was like, oh shit, that's right. Even today when I watched it, didn't realize none of it. I was too into the actual top of where her head detached, the blood coming out, the little bone elements of it, and then her falling back, her body moving. And it's not like it's a fast scene. It gives you enough time to see it, and her body's still there, and her arms are still moving and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can catch it. But for me, I was still just like at the inside the neck part, like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, that's a good one too, though.
All right. Well, should I give mine?
Your favorite kill?
The archery scene.
Okay.
Here's why. I think in the story it's set up the best because you have the archery scene earlier when he shoots, and I'm taking this off. This black background's distracting. I don't know how you guys do it. But he shoots the.
We just blend in with it.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't mean it like that. You're both wearing black shirts.
I know.
You blend in with the white one because you have a gray shirt on and it's lighter.
No, this is not a racial thing, and I want that noted right now.
Did I say
when I said you do? I meant your shirts.
No. But what did I say?
I didn't say nothing.
No. From his show earlier, though.
I know you, Chris. I can see it on your face.
From what he said on his show earlier, he said something dope about the Twilight Zone, why it was in black and white and all that. So then later, I just commented later, and I just said something about the black and white. He's like, Aaron, I am not doing that. He was like,
doing that in this one.
But what did I said, okay. I was like, I got you next time. Don't worry. Oh, there it was.
Got me. You had to bring me, on here. Anyway, fine. Man. Before I get canceled, I'll tell you my favorite show on Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th, in the archery scene, they set it up earlier with the other guy, shooting the arrow while she was like fixing him.
Yeah.
So right there, she's looking for him, or looking for anyone really, but like looking for him because they were close. And she figured he'd be out near the archery range. Like she was out that area and she's stuck. The bright lights come on. And in the psychology of it, like she's looking at bright lights. She's stunned. She doesn't know who's there, who's messing with her. The last time she was working in the archery scene, she was messed with. So that's what could be happening. And, just for her to see her take that downfall, like I think it's like a beautiful, well-told, smaller story within this narrative.
Nice. And really quick, my cousin did answer this question too. The head.
That's fair.
Jason's mother's head getting cut off. Same. So, which is, it was just, it sparked so much. Now, all right, Jazzy, these questions will be answered on a later episode because it ties into when we get to those episodes. Like part 6.
I know how.
Part 6. I need her to tune in. My family never watches my shit, Nick.
I'm not saying. I'll never tell. But Freddy before the first one.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's talking about Jason.
No, I'm just kidding. I was giving her a spoiler. That's not really a spoiler. I'll tell you what. The one where he is immortalized in a way, he becomes a deadite, which is a true, honest thing, is my favorite of all of them.
Nice.
I always go back and forth between that one and the pillowcase on his head one, which I don't want to say because we're not saying which one at the moment. Being elusive.
We'll get there. So it's that time, guys. And I'll kick this one off.
Okay.
Friday the 13th ratings. I'm giving it a 10. You guys probably already knew that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. But it just does so much for me. It just does so much for me. This whole franchise does. So there's gonna be a lot of high ratings. Spoiler alert. Not for all the movies though. It's a couple I'm not a huge fan of, but I still love them. It's like your kids. You have your favorites, like how Dion ranks his kids. He loves them all, but he's just like, boom, 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 boom. That's basically what I do with this. That's what
I love all my kids the same, but different.
Exactly. See?
Okay. I can't rewatch this by myself, so I'm coming over to rewatch. I'll cook chicken. I love it. I want to hang out and eat chicken.
See? Oh, by the way, Jazzy, Mick down here, he's invited to the cookouts. All of them.
I'm proud of that. Even though you keep trying to get me.
You see how big he smiled for you? He was like, that was.
I want it.
He knows what's up. Potato salad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No raisins in this,
some chicken.
No raisins in
this.
Listen, I love it, dude. I'll get nice and stoned and hang out, man. Whatever.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Freddy will keep trying to get me canceled or killed. Like, dude.
No.
Oh yeah. He's gonna look at a cloud and be like, "Hey, Mick, you blend in." I want your potato salad, Jack, and I don't mean that as a euphemism. I want the actual potato salad to eat. Right out the spoon. I'm ready to go. I'm a big guy. I eat with spoons.
Everything with a
couple
spoon.
More in.
I like it. I like it.
So, Chris, Friday the 13th rating. What's yours?
All right,
sir.
So don't judge me on this one. Although it's a good movie, although I got the major hit of nostalgia in the gut and the tingles in my head, and the sound's great for this one. Unfortunately, I got to give this one only a 7.5.
Yeah, it's close to me. I was going to give it an 8. I love Friday the 13th. I think it goes down test of time, but I don't think it. And I think it revitalized or kept going and brought, not even revitalized, but brought the horror direction in a new direction. Because the way it was either the way it was going with like the prom nights and things like that, or it was going like this, and we wouldn't have had Freddy if we didn't go this way.
Very true.
So, but as a movie, it is not as top form as Nightmare on Elm Street is.
Correct.
But that's because it walked so that Nightmare on Elm Street could run.
That's fair. That's fair. I disagree, but that's fair. I mean, they're both 10s in my eyes. For nostalgia, definitely plays a part in my ratings, especially for slashers that I grew up on. That's just because every time I watch them, I just think of times just watching them different periods in life too, like childhood, the times in my childhood when I watched them, who I was watching them with, then like the teens, the adulthood, and just up till fucking now. And I'm just like, I still love watching these movies. When I watch them, I still enjoy it, still have that same fun with them.
Oh yeah.
Shit, this is, yeah. These are very important franchises for horror, in my opinion. They are very important franchises for horror. Even if you just stick with the first ones, very important movies for horror. And I love that they still have the love that they have for them.
Yeah.
I love that you can go to any of these horror conventions, you'll see
Oh, yeah.
multiple characters.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I love it because it's just like, it just feels so good. And it's even doper when you see the little kids dressed up as like a Freddy or a Jason, and they've never seen the movie, and they know, but they know who they are.
Yeah, I love seeing kids dressed up like pedophiles.
Wow.
I also love to see women dress up as sexy pedophiles
right?
for some reason on Halloween. Like, I don't know.
Yo, not for nothing. I kind of like, okay. And I think that's what makes it difficult. Okay. Before I go back, because I want to loop back to Friday the 13th, but since we're on Nightmare on Elm Street real quick. If we could somehow get a woman Freddy, but obviously not Frida or something, but without the whole aspect of pedophile, and they can figure out a way of still having it be kind of the sins of our father or something occur where then she comes back and she's this evil entity going after the people's kids. I'm not gonna lie.
Nightmare on Elm Street with me.
No. Well, here's why. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing it because I think that would be a cool twist to the psychological aspect of it between how Freddy as a male torments versus how a woman as a female would torment and attract their prey and go after them.
But we do that so much. Here's my argument against that is because, yeah, I understand it, but don't take that character though. Like, I mean, because they did that with Hellraiser, and I was like, and there was this whole big thing where people were freaking out. She's a woman. It doesn't matter if it's a man, woman, or anything else.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. That's not the point of Pinhead. And I didn't care that they gender swapped, but it's needless. This is a story you can tell, and you can make something new and something fresh, which other filmmakers are doing. And that's what I think bothered me the most about it. And when they do this gender swap sort of thing, it's like, what are you doing exactly? Like, are you just trying to replace so there's representation everywhere? Which I'm all for representation, but do we need copies?
I just figured it out.
What's the point? Like, I want something new and fresh and original.
So hear me out.
Candyman, the remake of Candyman was fucking phenomenal.
So hear me out.
Yeah, the remake of Candyman was dope.
Entertain me.
Okay.
How about if instead of the pedophile aspect of Freddy, we would have got the story of like Amanda Kruger as the nun from the church who went psycho, was killing the parishioners, you know,
and was raped by kids. 500 madmen or something like that.
And then she comes back going after the children of the people from the church or something. You know what I mean? Some type of weird twist on that way. Because then that shows, hey, the light entity that she was in the living becomes the dark evil entity in death. And she comes back to wreak revenge.
I would love it.
Right?
I'm even perfectly fine going forward and creating a movie where if you want Freddy to be female, do it like they did in the second one, where you established that he can possess a body. He didn't successfully possess the body in the second one, Mark's body in the second one. So if that's the case, now he tries again with a female, and by the end, just have it successfully transfer. Freddy's gone. Now you have a younger woman who takes over the role and changes up a little bit and is a bit of a different slasher. You set it up. You told a story. Great. I'm in. Now I'll follow that story. Well, or the Amanda Kruger story you just gave. I'll follow. Give me both. You know, I'm fine with that. Like, that'd be great. Now I continue and I can go back and watch. My biggest issue is they just want to gender swap and just be like, and it's like, man bad, woman good. Let's do this. And that's the way. I'm not saying that's the way women feel. I'm not saying that's the way men feel. I'm saying that's the way the studio for some reason thinks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. We don't like it.
Those ideas you guys just said.
Right.
I like that. It sounds like it can work. It sounds like it can work. And honestly, it sounds in a way, maybe. Hear me out, people. Maybe it could be a little scarier just for the fact that is the woman does she? Well, yeah, Freddy can change his looks and all that and be whatever. He can do what he wants. It's scarier because the female, even if you're just hearing the voice at first, is usually more trusting, usually more comforting, especially when it comes to children. And then it's like, oh, that could be a fun, crazy twist, but you'd have to shit. You have to have the right people behind it though with that.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want them to sexualize or even over sexualize the character. Because you want to be afraid of it. You want to be afraid of her.
I don't think you should over sexualize, and that's the thing. We've always over sexualized female characters and everything because that's what studios want.
Yeah,
because then there's going to come. They're going to want to see nudity. You know what horror fans have proven over the years? There hasn't really been nudity in a horror movie, and I'm talking a mainstream horror movie and even a higher end independent horror movie in a very long time. There's been sex, but the whole sex, drugs, and drinking and all that stuff getting killed, that trope is gone. Like we don't do it anymore. It doesn't work. It's dumb. And now in today's society, now it's dumb. So when you get down to like today's standards and where everything's a little different, we're a little bit freer. It just, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. But they also touch on that in like X. And the only reason it really works in X is because X is in a different time. So we're relating back to the time in which that was kind of the norm and what was expected and what we were getting from horror movies anyway.
You saved it. Thank you. I really blanked for a second there. I'm like, I gotta get this back.
Well, because what I was gonna say with that was,
I hated X.
I loved it. With the nudity in movies, I'm not gonna lie, I like it, but it's not needed. And there's times where they do it too much. You're just like, all they're doing is fucking. I could just go to, I'm not gonna say the site because you're not paying me to say your name, but you can go to one of them sites. And it's like, I could just go there and see that. I want to see a horror movie. Yeah, I want to see some titties in it. I'm not going to apologize for that, people. I'm not going to apologize and be honest. But it's not needed. Like, if it's there, it happens, cool. But it's like, man. Like you said with X, it made sense in that movie. Make it make sense at the very least.
See, and I will argue that the old ass and the old screwing and all that stuff from X, not needed.
You see, but here's where I would argue that it is needed. Right. Very nice. Well, I would argue that it is needed in X, and because X proves my point by having the nudity in it. Horror movies don't need that nudity, that over sexualization anymore. Not saying that sex can't exist. It's good and it works and it fits. But then you have, now we're in a different world where it's like, okay, sex is okay, it's positive. So, but we don't need to show the nudity. The women don't have, there's no point in putting on a towel and then going and lurk around the house. Or, it just doesn't work. And it was always exploitative anyway.
Yeah.
So when you get to X and there's nudity in it, it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. It's supposed to, it's filmmaking. It's actually telling the story. Pornhub and, all that stuff and all that stuff.
Not a sponsor, but can be. I'm not going on your site, but I'll mention it.
It exists. So if you want to see that stuff, go there. The horror movies are supposed to give you horror. And when it became all about TNA, I felt like that was the downfall of the 80s movie, where it was all over sexualized and overhyped and everything was bad and this, that, and the other thing. Like it killed the genre plus oversaturation. And then we sparked it back up by making fun of that and then not having nudity in horror movies for a long time. Look at all those late 90s, early 2000s. It really wasn't there.
If I remember this topic when we get towards the end of this whole run that we're going to be doing, this is going to be revisited in one of the, I think the last one actually that we're going to be doing in this whole series. But I want to revisit this little conversation here about the sexualization.
I think I know what you're referring to, but I can't wait though.
I figured you would.
Which
if you guys want to know and find out, you're going to have to make sure you subscribe to Horror with Sir Sturdy and you go listen to them wherever you can find them on all the audio platforms, as well as right here on YouTube.
Which, by the way, I would only argue furthers my point because these movies still maintained those tropes even after all that time. And we've grown past them. Again, nudity and sex and beauty of the naked body can be in movies. But if it's just put in there to be sexy, you're ruining your story.
That's where I guess I've matured
Yeah, when I was 14, I was like, yeah, all right.
Well, I'm not even gonna go that young, Mick. I'm gonna say maybe just doing the podcast, honestly, and just seeing so many movies to where you're seeing the nudity in it, and of course, whatever you're attracted to, you see that. But like when it doesn't, not even when it doesn't fit in the story, when it's just like that's it, and the movie sucks, and then like this isn't saving it. Now, if it's in it, the movie's good, but it's not like overly done. I'm like, I can deal with this. It's cool. You see whatever you want to see, and then you see somebody get chopped up.
Well, can you think of a movie a horror movie where nudity was in it? And I'm talking about an older horror movie, not newer, but like towards the points of the genre where it really like was happening in the 80s, 70s, even early 90s. It was very prevalent. Where a movie, the nudity it furthered the story, or it worked, or even like got you excited in that moment. Don't explain that part, but like, so all right. I guess the more direct question is, how excited did you get watching Sleepaway Camp?
No, I didn't get excited.
But listen, I've never seen it.
Okay, I'm not. Oh, yeah. Listen.
Shut up. We're not talking about Sleepaway Camp. He needs to see it.
No, really quick. All I'm going to say is this. Everybody in the chat, please don't say anything about Sleepaway Camp. Chris, I'm going to tell you like Henry told me. Watch the movie, but there's going to be a surprise at the end for you. That's all I'm going to say. That's how my brother told me it.
It's an epic surprise. It's known for
As a matter of fact, Worst Damn Gamer, I know you love challenges. Here's my challenge for you.
Yes, sir.
Before the month of October is over, watch it, review it, and drop it for us.
Works for me.
Watch it, review it, and drop it for us.
So it's
I
official.
almost want them to do the franchise, but I'm not going to.
There's a franchise of Sleepaway Camp?
There's
3 or 4
or 5 movies now.
Okay. So then challenge accepted. I'll watch them all. And as soon as I can, as part of my Halloween for this month, I'm going to get them up one by one. I'm going to upload all the 20 episodes I have sitting, say, fuck it, throw it up on the YouTube channel. So you guys are going to want to subscribe to the Worst Damn Gamer Ever. Go check out the Midnight Matinee. And coming up next is going to be some Sleepaway Camp and some other things that I had in store already in my mind. So go look for that and be ready for the drop. Hit the bell because it's coming.
All right, I'm going to give you the heads up real quick for this. You should make it a part of, I don't know, do something like what we're doing, but like the Worst Damn Halloween Countdown, 13 days of the Worst Damn Halloween Countdown or some shit like that. And then just do the 13 days up to Halloween, a different movie. But I will say this, when you watch Sleepaway Camp, there's a 4th movie. There's 5 movies.
Okay.
The 4th movie is unfinished. So you can probably watch the scenes on YouTube or something, but it is an unfinished movie. So.
Interesting. But there's a part 5.
Yeah, it's called Return to Sleepaway Camp. Yep.
Interesting.
I gotta watch the whole franchise. I only seen the first one, but
Felissa Rose plays Angela again in that movie. I think. Yeah, it's been a long time since I saw that one. But
I'm gonna do a quick search.
So Bruce Springsteen's little sister plays the character of Angela in the second and third one.
That's Bruce Springsteen's little sister?
Felissa Rose was Angela. No.
Oh.
Was Angela in the first one. Pamela Springsteen was Angela in 2 and 3.
Gotcha.
Arguably 2 of my favorites. I love those movies.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta check those out. Myself.
Yeah. Actually. So, all right. So that's what other questions we got.
Oh, snap, yo! It's available on Pluto and TV. So guess what, folks? I got you.
There you go.
It's on Freevee. Yep, Sleepaway Camp is on Pluto, Tubi, YouTube, and Freevee and Plex. So I got you guys covered.
John, my friend, while you're here, real quick, your favorite kill from the original Nightmare on Elm Street, 1 kill, and your favorite kill from the original Friday the 13th, 1 kill on that as well. What's your favorite kills in both of those movies, if you're still here, my friend?
And what's your rating for each movie so we can pick a victor on your side here to add to us on which one on this episode won the first battle in this whole big stretch of a series here?
Oh, I got wiped out as far as that goes. But listen, people, go check out Doomsday over on YouTube. It's Facebook channel. He's dope. Dope.
Doomsday's Crypt.
Dope show. Doomsday's Crypt. Yes. YouTube. Sorry. Doomsday's Crypt. Thank you. on Facebook and YouTube. Dope show, dope guy, huge horror fan. Go check him out.
Oh, yeah. Man. So what was that you just said? Hold on, I got to make sure I hear this. I know we got to still wait for his. Can his change the tide, or is it a kind of a?
Oh no,
a sweep?
It's not going to change my. It's not going to change my feelings.
No. I'm saying right now for this episode of Freddy versus Jason, will his vote change a tie or change the tide to Jason or Freddy?
No, because it'll be more towards. It's still going to be Freddy because you, Jason, and Mick said you like Freddy better as far as the characters. And then so did Chad, but that don't mean shit to me.
But are we going off of ratings though, or are we going off of just who we said we enjoy more as far as the character?
No, your favorite character.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one you're basing it on, right?
Yeah, your favorite character. I mean, I'm not doing anything special for either or favorite character or movie. I just like to know what people like when it comes to that. But
I get it.
I'm a loner. I get it. It's fine. It's fine. Well, Jason, I'm half loner because Jason said he likes Freddy better, but likes Friday the 13th, the movie, better. So
yep.
Yeah.
It's half and half, but still.
So right now,
I'm a little ashamed of my scary snobs.
Why?
They like this shit.
They like what?
No, I'm kidding because he believes Jason's better.
Oh, gotcha.
He is. Oh, by the way, people, I will have a review coming out at some point. It was informed to me, which, you know what? Watch the Scary Snobs and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll know what movie when you watch the Scary Snobs. If you guys know me, you'll know exactly what movie I'm going to be reviewing within the next week or two.
And there are going to be some changes coming to the YouTube channel as well over on my side. So if you guys could, if you follow me already, I greatly appreciate it. Comment, let me know what you think of some of the things that are going on and some of the format changes that I'm making, some of the new streams that I'm doing. And let me know if you like what I'm about to do for this month for, Halloween, because it's spooky season. Hold on. I got to do it right. Get to my channel and tell me what's good. All right, cool. And to make it somewhat spooky. That wasn't spooky. It was just odd.
I liked it. I mean, I liked it.
Should I have taken my shirt off instead? Would that have made it better?
I'm not looking.
Make it like an 80s horror movie. Throw some nudity in it.
You guys got to understand. I started watching a movie with you earlier, and I was like, I got work to do. And I went and recorded.
This guy.
I get right into the work. I'm sitting here, I'm doing this, but this is work for this. Like, I'm writing down stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
same here.
Thoughts on this episode. So it's not, I mean, I'm still enjoying it, but like, I wasn't looking because I was writing down my thoughts on this episode because when we get into the next one, I want to remember like what I said.
Oh, yeah. I jotted some stuff down too. And that is awesome. Just had Super Freddy, Michael Bailey on your podcast. Who's saying this?
Fourth or the fifth one?
I'm assuming Super Freddy's from the comic book one, right? Super Freddy!
It says Facebook user, so we can't really see who it is, but do tell because we want to hear from you.
Yeah. Who is this? Who's saying this? I appreciate it, though. I greatly appreciate it. And I also think that this is dope right here, what you just mentioned about having Michael Bailey on your show. Michael Bailey Smith, sorry.
And I want to go watch that. So please tell us who you are, shout out your channel, and you'll get another view or two, or 3, or 5, or 10.
Yeah. Drop that down there. Oh, shit.
By the way, I just want to make this clear to you guys. I've had synthwave music going the entire time on my end on my stream because it has to be done for 80s horror.
You should listen to what is it? It's John Carpenter's when he redid all of his music and put out an album. I think it was like maybe 7 years ago, 8 years. It was before Halloween had come out.
Okay.
So the music is great, man. That's awesome. Even actually he did a short film for Christine with the new Christine or the reworked Christine soundtrack.
That's awesome.
It was very cool. Like if you could look that up, I would too, because it's John Carpenter directing.
Excuse me.
Oh, it's okay. Doomsday's Crypt.
Oh, cool. What's up? Thank you.
I just wasn't sure why I just said you as Facebook user, so it was showing your name. But yeah, so Doomsday's Crypt, you guys can go see that interview because that's really dope. Really dope.
It's funny how the world works.
I love that.
Sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna wrap this one up soon, guys. But I'm gonna say again, Freddy vs. Jason, Sturdoween October. This is what we're doing all the way up to Halloween. Got some fun, dope stuff planned. Some fun, dope stuff coming up. Most importantly, what's going on this month? Friday the 13th, next Friday. If you can be there, be there. Casters for a Cause. It's a charity script read, and we're reading Friday the 13th.
Yep.
We're doing it all for lunch. All the donations, all the proceeds are going for the children, all for lunch. So children can get free lunch. They deserve free lunch. They should not have to pay a dime for their lunches. No matter how their parents' finances are going, they should not have to pay a dime for their lunches. And they should not have to eat just a little bit of something. No, feed these children. They're in these seats 8 hours a day, all day, trying to learn. How can they learn when they're hungry, when their stomach's around? Feed them. So let's help with that. And the link is live. The GoFundMe is live. It is up top. I have it pinned up top, so you guys can do that. Yes.
I will say this. What do you think? Not only talented, incredible.
Carpenter's not only a talented filmmaker, but an incredible musician. Agreed.
You should. What was it for the? Okay, so we were talking about the charity event. I want to know what you guys think. What game should we play from that we tested?
Ooh.
I think the impressions game was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
But I can only do Southern.
But I love the idea of trying it, because when we had Rosie Perez and Joe Pesci going back and forth,
that was hilarious.
Fucking wonderful.
That was hilarious.
For sure.
Which, if you guys want to know what we're talking about, go on over to the Scene Snobs. Check out Mick at Night from this past Friday. Blood Lake script read. Horrible movie, horrible script, but we made it fun. We made it fun. It took us about 2.5, I think close to 3 hours of getting through it. But there's a lot of, you'll see.
A lot of chaos, but it was chaos that we knew was going to happen. Well, I knew it was going to happen.
Of course. Especially with that. But guys, listen, go check out the Scene Snobs. Go check out Worst Damn Gamer. Go check out the 3 Geeks podcast. And if you're here, check out HorrorWithSir.STURDY too. Hit that sub button for all of us. Hit that little bell, ding, 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 ding. So when we're dropping something. And I hope you guys are enjoying this Sturdoween because I am. I'll see you in your nightmares.